Will it ever end? Will it ever end? The cycle of suffering, the cycle of pain, the cycle of working towards something that you feel like you're never, ever, ever going to reach. Will it ever come? Will it ever end? This is what I was feeling. This is what I've been feeling. I'd been feeling this way recently, and I'd come in and out of this place many times on this journey. And I know it's a place of shared pain. I know a lot of people find themselves here and find themselves crashing here over and over again. It's a common tourist spot for the spiritual awakening journey and the spiritual growth journey, and even just personal growth in general. Will I ever be enough? Will I ever figure it out? Will I ever get to this place where I feel like I've arrived, or I feel like things are starting to come together? Will these moments stop fleeting? Will they stay with me? Because we all know we've had these moments where we feel lifted, we feel enlightened, we feel as if we're getting a taste of this thing we've been feeling. Like we feel something important calling to us. We feel like we are important and that we are vital to this thing. The plan, the general plan of what the hell is going on here. We finally might feel like we're a part of that. This aching feeling that we've had in us since we were children, that we are important and that we are a part of that, and that there's something very special within us that one day too we're going to come to terms with and arrive at. And maybe you lost that for a while like I did. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, I go into detail about how disheartening and that doesn't even begin to describe, disheartening doesn't even begin to describe the feeling, this feeling of complete just crushing, this crushing feeling of maybe I'm not special, maybe there is no greater meaning to this, maybe this is all bullshit. Maybe you found yourself there like I did. But then maybe you also found yourself coming back to that feeling that you had when you were a kid, that you are important and you are special. And there is something greater calling to you. And it calls to me too. It calls to all of us. However, in the journey to finding this thing, to arriving at this thing, I found myself in this, coming back to this place of, is it ever going to happen for me? I arrived somewhere today, and I feel like a lot of things have clicked, and this is what I've come to share with you today. Before I can get there, I have to express I've been feeling stupid lately. I've been feeling really stupid lately. Like I can't gather my thoughts. Like maybe in private, I have these big epiphanies and I'm making these neurological connections and identifying patterns. And then when it comes to speaking on them, let's say with someone or in a video or even, I don't know, like just any other moment, it's just gone. And I feel like there's just air moving through my brain. Like I've been feeling very stupid lately. I do think this might, I'm starting to think there's a purpose to this, because I will give you more context about me. Is I'm an overthinker, and I know I can like run things into the ground. But I think that's not even the point. The point is, being an overthinker, there's a lot of self-doubt that comes into my narrative. And here we go. I don't know why. I'm losing this ability to understand why. And this is something I had prided myself on. I was in a very abusive relationship when I was in high school, and that led me to study psychology so I could figure out what the fuck was wrong with me, because this boy had convinced me that I was so fucked up, that I was such a horrible person, that everything about me was so wrong, and he couldn't understand why. And what he would say is, when you're with me, everything's great and it's not a problem, but when you're not with me, you're just this fucked up human being and you keep hurting me. And obviously these things are lies, you know, it was narcissistic manipulation. But being so young and it being my first relationship, and we were together for 4 years, that left a lasting impression on me. And I was already an overthinker before him, but just to color the picture for you of what this can sound like sometimes to me, this self-doubt, this self-deprecation, it's stuff like that, you know? Because of that relationship, I went on to study psychology in college so that I could figure out what was wrong with me. That was my reasoning. I started school, I can't even remember the word, without a major. Undecided. Stupid lately, but it's good. There's a reason to it. I got really good at understanding whatever I needed to understand to make sense of what was happening. And because the things that I had endured were irrational logic, you know, to understand a narcissist is to understand irrationality and delusion, to a hatred, a delusion of hatred towards you that like is based in nothing. It's foundless. But anyway, I prided myself in really understanding the ins and outs and being able to explain it to a T of where this one pattern of behavior came from that I started exemplifying later on in life because of this thing that happened to me. Like, I had it all figured out. I could explain it to the nines as why I am who I am. I can't do that anymore. This is the stupidity I'm talking about. I can't do this anymore. And it's good, because that shit will keep you in loops. But anyways, this is not the point of the video. The point of the video is to express my breakthrough. And I think this, I don't know, could be helpful in some ways. And I need to hear this message. So I want to hear myself say it. And I think when it comes to channeling messages, I did a previous video on how channeling messages sometimes could leave me feeling empty, because yes, they soothe this ache, this pain, this void that you feel, but because I'm not able to deliver that message to myself or like get that message for myself, I'm left feeling like I'm not good enough. I can't do that thing, you know? I'm watching this creator do something that I want to do and I haven't been able to do it. Anyways, this is besides the point. Just go watch that video if you're interested in that. Something happened to me today. I've been going in and out of these loops of like, what am I to do with my spiritual gifts? I came to realize them about a year and a half ago. Sorry, this sun is like in my eyes, but I feel like this looks horrible. So I will suffer through this. About a year and a half ago, I came to realize that I have, I don't know, psychic abilities, mediumship abilities. Like, I have the ability to communicate with people in the spiritual realm, even just entities that are nameless because they weren't humans, just connecting beyond like a normal extent to the spiritual realm, and to things outside of humanity, I guess, outside of the 3D, I think is a better way to describe it. And it's almost like these things were given to me at once a year and a half ago. Like I was pushed into a spiritual initiation that was very intense. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced before, and it completely upturned my life. Like, you know, getting the rug pulled out from under you, but like in a good way. I don't know. It's a mixed bag because it comes with a lot of work. And if you don't even understand what the hell this is all about and what you're supposed to do with this and what it even is, like, it's a lot of experimentation, it's a lot of trial and error, a lot of failure, and just a lot of inner work, which I love. I love that. I went to psychology. Like, that's my thing. I like that. But as an overthinker and as someone who was abused through her whole life, like, that could be a tricky line for me to tread. The overthinking, the need to understand, and that underlying experience with, you know, narcissistic abuse and manipulation and all that stuff. I'd gotten to a point in this journey, this spiritual journey of coming to realize my gifts and what I meant to do with them and where I meant to go in life, and how I can start bringing this abundance into my life and materializing it. Because I've gotten to this place where on the inside, I am a completely different person. I am nowhere near, can't even remember who I was before this. And when I try to recall stories and memories from even a year and a half ago when this all started, is so difficult for me because it's so far away. And I would say recently, within the last, over the summer, I started embodying this confidence, this security, this assurance with uncertainty, with the unknown, with the things that have yet to show up in my external world. I developed this strong trust in what I can't see, what I can't know, and what I can't prove. And then for the last couple months, I've been kind of in this place where I'm like, okay, when is my external world going to start changing, you know? And what do I have to do? And I talk to my spirit guides. I ask for guidance. I ask them to show me what I need to see, where I need to go. I ask for feedback, whatever. Like, I won't go into the specifics about these, conversations that I tried to have, or, these these bids for help, to getting to arriving at an objective. It just hit me today. The question I was asking myself is, the thing I was saying is, I want to be accomplished in this, you know? I tried to be accomplished in different avenues in life, and right before my spiritual awakening, I had started to look at what I was doing with my career. And I was climbing the corporate ladder, working in human resources for a pharmaceutical company, making a lot of money and still very much at the bottom, and a lot to move up. And my career was promising. I was in a good spot on paper. I was in a great spot. I was doing better than my entire family for where I was starting from. You know what I mean? The potential for what I could make from this and what I could create from this I was going to be the breadwinner of the family, you know? Finances has been something my lineage has struggled with. I know this. I don't have anyone in my family, or even in that I know from the history of my family, that have been financially literate, free, sovereign, same thing, but you know what I mean. I saw myself as being that for the first time, and I think my dad was like the closest that anyone has ever seen, and even like one of my cousins, but like, you know, then it starts getting distant, and then I said I want to be accomplished in life, and I want to be fulfilled. That's my goal, you know. Through this journey, you start to really like rake down what your goals are. What are your objectives? Where do you want to land? You know, and it might start with, I want to be financially free enough to do the things I want to do, and that's good and well, but there's something underneath that, you know what I mean? And so I was able to boil it down in terms of my career anyways. I'm not talking about love or what else is there? There's love, career. What else is there? I don't fucking know, dude. Creativity. But that's like, creativity you could weave into all aspects of life. Anyway, so you see how I just go off on tangents. It kept getting to a place where I'm like, I don't see this being reciprocated in my external world. It must be my fault. What am I doing wrong? Why can't I do this? Why am I not allowed to get there? When is it going to happen? Do I just keep waiting? And then all the self-doubt comes up. And there's a trickery of the mind, because you think sometimes the self-doubt sounds reasonable. Well, I should be thinking about these sort of things, you know? Like, yes, there is strength into trusting the divine order and the plan, your specific path unfolding for you, and you walking along that and taking these opportunities as they come and releasing the things that you cannot control, and even bigger than that, knowing a lot of things you cannot control, and there's a beauty in surrendering to that. But there's still some work needing to be done on our end, and the question always comes up is, what work do I do? When do I do the work? Like, is this the work or is that the work? Like, did I miss the work? Am I waiting too much? You know, like, but that's self-doubt. That's not, and it might sound reasonable and logical, but that's self-doubt. And this is something I had found myself, this loop that I found myself in, and I'm trying to not have judgment come in. But as soon as you start engaging with that loop, it's looping. The minute I reach out and I grab for it and I engage with it, yeah, why haven't I? Or yeah, what is that all about? Or yeah. Today it hit me. I said, what do I want? I want to be accomplished. I want to be successful. And I want to be fulfilled. And then the question came, who says you aren't? And I'm like, well, because my external doesn't match. And then I'm like, wait, hold on. My external can't provide that for me, and I know this. I've tried many different paths in life. The corporate ladder was not the first path I tried. You know, like, I've tried a variation of different paths to reach these things. These have been things that I've wanted my entire life. I've been wanting fulfillment ever since I knew, like, some type of I don't know. You reach an age where you start thinking about these things, but before then you weren't thinking about these things. So as soon as I reached that age, like, fulfillment has always been the goal for me. You know, I've never been one to really care about money too much, but I've gotten to a place where I'm like, maybe I should care about money. Maybe I don't have money because I say, oh, I don't care about money. Money's not important, but it is. I know it is. It's needed to a certain extent, you know? But I digress. That's not the big thing was, I said, how the hell do I know I don't feel fulfilled? If I've never felt fulfilled, if I've never gotten to the place where I can say I felt fulfillment, how do I know I don't already have it? How do I know it doesn't already exist? I'm like, how would I be able to distinguish the feeling from the feeling I have right now? Who's to say the feeling I have right now is telling me that I'm not accomplished, that I'm not successful? That's me saying that because I don't have the external validation. But we all know you can't get those things from the external. They have to come from internal. It's like if someone were to tell you you're beautiful, but you don't don't think you're beautiful because you don't feel beautiful. It doesn't matter what the external is saying to you. You need it on the inside first. It's got to be like, it's got to come to life from the inside. But here's the thing is I can't tell you how to feel it. I don't know. I don't know what it feels like to be accomplished. So who's to say I'm not accomplished? Who's to say I don't feel accomplished when I don't know what the fuck it feels like, right? And it hit me and I'm like, holy shit. I'm accomplished. I'm successful. I'm fulfilled. And then it hit me again. I'm like, this is affirmation. And I think like there needs to be that underlying like knowing of this will be tested. You know, I can't just say this and then my whole world will start to change. This will be tested because I'm going to start by saying this. I'm signaling to the universe that I want to start building this conviction, right? So it says, okay, I'm going to send things your way to build that conviction. And what are those things going to be? It's going to be things that maybe make me feel the opposite. Maybe push me back into the loop that I was in before I said, fuck this shit. How the fuck, right? Is this making sense? And here, coming back to like the feeling stupid lately is like, I don't have the ability to go in and tear apart why this makes sense and why it didn't make sense before and blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't have the ability to do that anymore. And that's a good thing because the minute I start doing that is the minute I find a little nugget of self-doubt disguised as reasonable logic, practicality, whatever. Oh, they're so sneaky. So sneaky. It's so sneaky. Okay? And sometimes it's like you don't recognize it until it's like full-blown monstrous self-hatred. But you gotta go back. You have to go back. So that's why it's like so much work. When does this work ever end? You see how I can string a lot? Sorry, I just got really proud of myself for tying it all back together. All right, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That felt real good. That felt really good. Damn. I'm at the gym right now. I'm in the gym parking lot. I'm about to go work out. It's glute day, baby. That's it. I got a Red Bull, blueberry. It's incredible. All right. That's it. That was fun. That was great. Goddamn. Yeah. Hang in there. I can't tell you I can't tell you how to feel it or what the feeling is. Honestly, I said it and I'm like, I feel the same, but something switched in my brain where I said, this is what it does. And the thing about affirmations, going back to that, is they just set the stage, really. Then you do the work to build conviction behind it. You know, build the support, like really root it down. But because I announced that, essentially, I'm going to start receiving opportunities to test this belief. I've staked a claim in a new belief, and now the universe is going to start sending things my way to test this. And what's most important to note is whatever that looks like, whatever my journey with this looks like, is right. Sometimes I might fail and go back to the loop, and I'll find myself and I'll come right back to this. It's just most important to give myself grace, and that's exactly what I'll do. Give myself the space to fail and give myself the space to succeed. Because at the end of the day, it's effort. It's all effort, and it's all going to go to a good place. It's just like going to the gym, right? You fucking push yourself to failure. And that's what grows your muscles stronger. And I'm not going to go into the whole physiology of the gym, but you know exactly what I mean by that. This is one of the best analogies I could use. And it's perfect timing because I'm about to go there. All right. I love you. Actually, I don't know if I love you because I don't know you. But you know what? Maybe we'll get there. But keep in mind, I'm also delivering this message to myself, and I'm looking at her, and I love her, and she loves you. And, yeah. All right. Bye.